Hey guys, how you going? I didn't make a video yesterday because I had a headache, so... Okay, let's get on with this. The opinionated black woman auntie said just when you thought Western nations have hit peak imbecile, New Zealand is like... This is where that sign came from when I did the live 2 days ago. Stop, please do not enter our hospital if you're feeling unwell. That was in New Zealand, okay? So there you go. I thought New Zealand was getting better, and it might be in certain ways, but yeah, come on, Trump. Okay. Elon Musk said, my involvement in politics is not because I wish to be, but because I believe the future of the free world is at stake. In response to Kanoka the Great, who said, Elon Musk, I would prefer not to be in politics. I stepped into the arena because I think the stakes are extremely fundamental. I fear if Trump does not win, we are going to have a single-party state that is going to be worse than California. The one thing that keeps California from going even further is that people can move out of California and still be in America. But if you've got no place to move, then it's going to be much worse than California, and that's the danger we face. An oppressive totalitarian state has extreme restrictions on freedom of speech that continues extreme overregulation that makes government even bigger than it is today and takes away the liberty of the people. It's not something I wanted to do, but I thought it was critical to do it, or America's not going to be America. And I think I just said everything he was trying to say there. We'll have a little listen.
As I said, I really would prefer not to be in politics at all. The reason that I have stepped into the political arena this time is because I think the stakes are extremely fundamental. I think democracy is on the line. I think the Constitution's on the line. I fear that if Trump does not win, we're going to be, we're going to have a single-party state. It's going to be like California, but actually worse than California, because the one thing that keeps California from going even further than they do go is that people can move out of California and still be in America. But if you've got no place to move, then it's going to be much worse than California. And that's the danger that we face. Sort of an oppressive totalitarian state that has extreme restrictions on freedom of speech, that continues extreme overregulation, that just basically makes government even bigger than it is today, and takes away the liberty of the people. So it was. That's something I wanted to do, but I felt it was critical to do it, or America's not going to be America.
There you go. Okay, and most people who don't want to be in politics should be in politics for that very reason. Okay, now here in Australia, Catherine Deeves Morgan said, so any Australian kid who wants to be a doctor when they grow up gets free driving lessons from the government now? In the news, Manira wants to be a neurologist but needs her driver's licence first. A free course is helping her get there. So do all of Australians get it, or just, certain people? Okay, and Australia's making worldwide news, or one of our politicians is anyway. Joe Rambo said, it's serious when the Amish decide to show up in mass for Trump. You want proof of the success of the Great Awakening? The Amish are even talking about the deep state and fake news. This dude is even warning people to do their own research. Nothing can stop what's coming now. Okay, let's have a little listen. Okay, let's check it out.
She's going to give the $25,000 down for a first-time home buyer. That'll never happen. Anybody that thinks that'll happen is a fool. It's the same as the free college. You think about, how about our homes? How about the ones we purchased? Excuse me. Where's my $25,000? And that's why it'll never happen. For anybody that believes that'll happen, it will never happen, I guarantee it. And if it would happen, it would inflate the home prices even more. It's crazy if anybody thinks that she'll turn things around. Ooh. She was there for 3.5 years. Oh. She had every opportunity. She's making all these promises. But the question is, why wait? Why are we waiting? She's talking about she's been talking about the border, how Trump turned down the border policy that they've been trying to pass. Why'd she wait for 3 years? to try to promote a policy? Why not right away? Why did she remove some of the policies Trump had in place? Seriously, this is kind of craziness we have. There's too many people in America can't think for themselves. And they believe like CNN, ABC, MSNBC, things like that. You got to look. You got to do your research.
There you go. Even the Amish are telling you to do your research, and it won't happen. They promise all this stuff all the time, and it never comes to fruition. I believe Biden ran on giving university people their money back, the loans, wiping the loans. Fight with Memes said heartwarming story of acceptance. Trans species man who self-identified as a deer accidentally shot by hunters. A South Carolina man who self-identifies as a deer has been transported to the hospital via helicopter after being shot by 2 hunters. And Rust said kudos to for the hunters for accepting him for who he is. He said he was a deer. There you go. Rocket Man said the Port Arthur Massacre 1996, 35 innocent souls murdered, 23 wounded, no coronial inquest, no public inquiry, no royal commission. Why? I think I know. And we'll find out. I'll explain later on. Ian Miles Chong said, without using Google, what have Australian Aboriginals produced? And don't say alcoholism. Now, Ian Miles Chong is in America. Okay, let's see what the answers were. They worked out a way to survive tens of thousands of years without leaving a footprint on the land. No, they didn't do, well, the rock paintings, they didn't do the, a lot of people think they did more than they did. My 2 Satoshis said, more important to consider what they hadn't produced in a supposed 60,000 year stretch before colonisation. No wheel, no agriculture. A pertinent question is, has any other civilization in existence made less technological progress than that in a similar time frame? So they're making themselves look bad by, saying they've been here for 60,000 years when they haven't done much at all. Okay. Well, they were roamers, okay? They were wanderers. They were wanderers, yeah, the wanderers. They roamed around and round and round and round. They maybe built huts, but they didn't have housing. They did not have cars or buildings. They did not have the wheel. I believe horses were even brought over here. That is my belief. I'm not sure if that's correct. Okay, Melaclem said this is who stupid Geraldo thinks is good. Kamala's team has spent more than $5 million having images of her with Sean P. Diddy Combs bleached from the internet. It would be such a shame if this made the rounds. Do the right thing, said Geraldo. For yourself and your country. She's a warrior and a peacemaker, and I'm proud heartily to endorse Kamala Harris for president. But it may not be without complications. When my initial endorsement went viral, the photographer taking my picture for a magazine article about the endorsement asked if I was worried about retaliation. By whom? By Donald Trump, the once and possibly future president, who vows political retribution and the possible use of military force against the enemies within. Are you admitting to being one of the enemies within, are you, Geraldo? When confronted by television's Dr. Phil about his many menacing statements threatening retaliation, Trump dug in. Revenge does take time, and sometimes revenge can be justified, Phil. I have to be honest, sometimes it can. It's like the bad old days of Richard Nixon when the commentators opposed to administration were placed on the infamous enemies list. Those listed were often subjected to abnormal attention from the IRS. Tax audits were Nixon's favourite form of retaliation. Trump, who feels he was the victim of unfair scrutiny and weaponised deep state, is more ominous. He makes it sound as if he's going to get the Godfathers Luca Brasi or the Proud Boys to perpetuate physical muggings. No, he didn't say that. In addition to his lack of civility, racial stereotyping and division, there are many crucial reasons to choose Harris over Trump. Really? If you have a daughter, and I have 3, it cannot be close to question. Yeah, vote Trump. Only one candidate for president will honour her right. Okay, for trauma. Yep, for trauma. For reproductive freedom, he calls it. They're talking about abortions, and that is Vice President Kamala Harris. In contrast, her opponent, former President Donald Trump, is the principal architect of the legal regime that has stripped American women of what, for half a century, they believed was a guaranteed right, a right guaranteed by the US Constitution, the right to choose for herself to have an abortion or use birth control. Abortion is not birth control, by the way. Okay? And this is traumatic. Using birth control is not as bad. Look, it's still bad, but not as bad. But abortion is traumatic. It's a traumatic experience. Why are they trying to push this? By stacking the Supreme Court, President Trump ensured the long arm of the government will be in many of your daughter's bedrooms for... No, they won't. True, some states have enshrined reproductive freedom in state constitutional amendments. That's what he did. He handed it back to the states to decide. But many women and even their doctors and caregivers remain in jeopardy. So does Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, which has helped millions, receive necessary care and treatment. It remains under assault by Republicans unable to present a reasonable alternative. Blame Donald Trump, who's tried unsuccessfully to abolish the ACA and will try again, even with the child tax credit, is in continuing peril by conservative think tanks bent on achieving a nation in which compassion is a commodity that has to pay its own way. I can't even. Geraldo, what are you thinking? Okay, what's he talking about Clinton for? Okay, there's another political issue. Remember back in 2000 presidential campaign when the VP, Al Gore, pretended he didn't know Bill Clinton? It was a mistake that overlooked impeached Clinton's otherwise pretty successful presidency, and it cost Gore the election. Similarly, if I could advise the Harris campaign these last 2 weeks before the nation votes again, it would be to embrace President Joe Biden. Aside from the melancholy way in which the old-timer was involuntarily cast aside, remember he's also had a pretty good presidency. Where does Geraldo live? He's rich, eh? Because I know he's a TV personality. Yeah, mate, you don't even notice, where the rest of us do. Bidenomics largely succeeded in wrestling down inflation. Did it really? Geez, it went up a lot. And when it goes up and comes down little, that does not mean it's wrestling down inflation that they first made in the first place. Unemployment and crime are also down. Yeah, because no one's reporting on it and they're not being charged. China's being confronted, so is Russia, especially in Ukraine. NATO's on sounder footing. Yeah, we're going to World War III with this. And Israel's winning this phase of the unending holy war. The border is the biggest mess, but the undocumented aren't poisoning the blood of the country. And those who are attempting to exploit the relatively few incidents in which undocumented immigrants commit heinous crimes, they are, in the words of a father of a young woman killed by one, are heartless and despicable. It's another reason I'm voting for her. Donald Trump has thrived on conflict and confrontation. Kamala Harris, as president, would seek to heal our divisions and celebrate our unity and patriotism. No, she wouldn't. I'm sorry, you've got that the wrong way round, Geraldo. Oh, my God. Well, what's he been up to? Geraldo, you haven't been doing things you shouldn't have been doing now, have you? Makes me wonder. Gunther Eagleman said, holy shit, they have Trump at 93.2% chance of winning the Electoral College, full throttle. Too big to rig. Kendo Nord, Jesus is Lord, too big to rig McDonald. Close your eyes. I want you to do something for me here. I want you to close your eyes and then barely open them. What do you see? Tell me if you see it. Tell me in the comments what you see. And if you see it, I saw it straight away. Close your eyes and then you slowly open them. Just a little tiny bit. Squint. Squint through those eyes and what do you see? It's an optical illusion. Okay, Rick here said, how the F and hell is she still in Parliament? Now I couldn't give a shit about pedo Charles. Australian neighbour, do your freaking job and sack this stupid idiot. What a disgrace you are. Senator Thorpe, resign now, you incompetent flog. Okay, This is our senator who threw herself on the ground when the police tried to grab her during a women's march when she was trying to, I don't know what she was trying to do. Okay, let's have a look at this. She's an idiot, so I keep getting her and Jackie Lambie, is it? Mixed up. Okay, anyway, let's have a listen.
You committed genocide against our people. Give us our land back. Give us what you stole from us. Our bones, our skulls, our babies, our people. You destroyed our land. Give us a treaty. We want a treaty in this country. You are a genocider. This is not your land. This is not your land. You are not my kids. You are not our kids.
Okay, take your shoes off and everything else you've got on off. If the colonisers are so bad. But anyway, Prince Charles is there. And look, in Australia, you when you sign up for government, you are promising to represent the monarchy. Okay? That's how it is. Until the rules change, that's how it is. Okay, let's continue listening.
You committed genocide against our people.
What has she got on? Unless that's the kangaroo skin, that's not what Aboriginal people wear. And she's calling for a treaty, like The Voice. That's what she's calling for. Funny, she was broke before she got into Parliament and did all this and advocated for Aboriginal treaties and things like that. The Australian Monarchist League said media release. Australian Monarchist League calls for Senator Thorpe to resign from Parliament with immediate effect. Because you've got to take an oath. You have to take an oath to the monarchy. For immediate release, Australian Monarchist League calls for Senator Thorpe to resign from Parliament. The Australian Monarchist League demands Senator Thorpe resign as Senator for Victoria following her failed attempt to disrupt His Majesty the King during his address at Parliament House, Canberra. National Chairman Philip Benwell said Senator Thorpe should step down with immediate effect. The Australian Monarchist League unequivocally condemns the ill-considered behaviour of this isolated senator. Her childish demonstration has done nothing to diminish the gratitude and pride that millions of Australia have for our country, its history, its peoples and its sound system of governance. In fact, it's likely only strengthened these things. Should she not resign, the League expects Senator Thorpe will be referred to the President of the Senate and that her misconduct will be addressed in accordance with what is the obvious and prevailing public sentiment ends. Right. Now, while I agree with some of the things, right, I'm more in agreements with Rick here. How the hell is she still in Parliament now? I couldn't give a shit about pedo Charles, but, you know, if you're in Parliament and you are signing an oath, you are taking an oath to the monarchy. That is what Australia is run by at the moment, okay? And God help us if we get a republic and she gets anywhere near it. I'm telling you now. You need the American republic and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and everything that goes along with that. Lauren Vasiliou said, effing idiots. 6 News Australia said, breaking, Labor has won a 7th consecutive term in the ACT. Do you know why? Because it's mostly public servants, I believe. 6 News projects, they're projecting Labor will be the only major party to form government after tonight, with Liberal leader Elizabeth Lee conceding moments ago. What on earth is going on? Well, Victoria is fucked. Yep. Too many public servants live there. And they rely on the government. So, of course, they're going to, you know, vote Labor. Because Labor will make the government bigger. The opinionated black woman auntie said, can you imagine if some wanker came to your house saying you've got to pay for the ABC because you have a TV? I'd be straight out the door, believe that. We got it back, said the BBTV licence is the biggest scam about. Let's have a listen. I agree. Don't refuse. Just refuse.
You to say you've not paid your TV licence.
But I don't need a TV license.
Yes, you do. You've got a TV.
Well, yes, I have a TV, but I don't watch live or anything like that.
It don't matter, you got BBC on your TV.
Well, yeah, but I don't watch it. I watch Netflix, I watch YouTube, Amazon.
You still have to pay your TV licence and you have to let me in and show you.
I can't, I'm not going to let you in my house just to see that. I don't need to pay it. All I do is watch Netflix, YouTube and Amazon. That doesn't mean I have to pay it.
BBC on your TV.
You're on my property and I need you to leave.
I need to put this through your letterbox.
I'm not going to pay it.
I'm going to put this through your letterbox.
You need to get off my property.
Well, you're watching the government's property.
Well, this is my house.
This is your house, and you're watching BBC in your house.
I'm not watching BBC. Yes, I have it on there. Doesn't mean I'm watching it. Therefore, I don't have to pay a TV licence for something I'm not watching.
If you've got BBC on your TV, you need to pay your licence.
But I'm not watching it.
It doesn't matter. You've got BBC.
I don't see the point of me paying for it.
I'm afraid it's the law. I'm going to post this to you.
Who is that clown? You know,
So you've not paid your
you know what I'd be doing? I'd be throwing the TV at him. No, I don't condone violence in any way. I wouldn't. No, seriously, it was just a joke. Sort of. Okay. So you want the TV? You sure? Like you want? I'll give you the TV, mate. You can have the TV, and then. No, I'm kidding. Real Ben said, while it's true that a vast number of people suffer from conditions such as depression and anxiety, most of these problems are not caused by a chemical imbalance. People are depressed and anxious because we aren't supposed to live like this. You just aren't supposed to notice. Seriously, this is not how we're supposed to live. And that's exactly right. That's why people are, and I believe it's designed that way, driven towards taking tablets for things that are actually very normal. Buta NT, or Bouta NT, said, I see Lydia Thorpe made a... See? This is an Australian way. See you and the NT out of herself again today. Disgraceful. Idiot. We've got Dan Scavino Jr. said, President Trump's in Asheville, North Carolina today. Nothing is more inspiring than to see the American spirit triumph over adversity with the most selfless acts of generosity and love. Let's have a look.
What happened to this neighborhood and the communities all across North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Alabama, Virginia, Tennessee was an act of absolute devastation. Helene's vicious floodwaters tore wives from the arms of their husbands, mudslides buried the entire families and buried entire families. Grandparents died alongside their grandchildren. Homes, towns, farms, roads, bridges, schools throughout the region. They now lie in ruin. So beautiful, an area, so beautiful it was. But it'll be more beautiful. But you can never forget the death, the death. All of America shares your sorrow and your grief over the past few weeks. This region has seen an extraordinary hardship, but in the midst of such terrible tragedy, we have also seen the extraordinary love that binds us together as Americans. And it does indeed. I want to thank our great first responders. They've never let us down. This was a tough one, but they never let us down.
Craig Kelly said the biggest threat facing the world is not from the climate, it's from destructive socialist ideology. Chris Martz said, I'm not concerned about the climate. What I'm concerned about is the rise in Marxism, masquerading as environmental stewardship and sustainability. Green is the new red, watermelon socialism. Green on the outside and red on the inside. That's what our Green Party here in Australia is. And they, with Labor, and they're running things at the moment, both of them. So God help us. The Yorkshire lass said, right, I need to ask this question again because shit is getting serious on the sovereign roads. But anyone else noticing more accidents on the roads? I drove past a police car and pickup truck the other day, up road from me, and apparently a car just drove into someone's fence and hit a tree. The car was actually in someone's garden. The road ain't even on a corner or a hill. I now drive like little Miss Daisy. Someone was flashing me the other day, not in that way. I was driving too slow because I don't trust AI driving cars on roads. I feel eventually, like many others have said, certain people won't be able to get in car insurance because, being injected won't cover them. Don't inject and drive should be a new slogan. I thought she said she doesn't trust AI driving cars on the roads. Okay, well, now there's another thing to watch out for. Carly Bones says, stop it. Oh, Trump feeding the cats. Meow, 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 meow. Feeding the dogs. Woof, 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 woof. Okay, Stephen said Australia has 2.5 million public servants. Okay, that's why Labor got in the ACT. In general, they are getting paid more than the private sector with no accountability. In addition, we pay $50 billion for the NDIS, which is the National Disability Insurance Scheme, and $60 billion to the Aboriginal industry. Yeah, this woman's a waste of space. Seriously? Jack Straw said, Gitmo's waiting. Pink calls off concerts in mysterious message. Reasons beyond my control. Was that a while ago? Man. Yeah, man. Oh, dear. Don't blame him. Old Soldier said wind and solar providing grid energy is cheaper in the same way as swimming from Sydney to Auckland is cheaper than flying. You may or may not get there and you may die in the process. That's what that's about. Elon Musk said paper ballots in person with ID is by far the best way to ensure election integrity. Elon Musk said the last thing we want is electronic voting machines. We want paper ballots in person with ID. Advanced AI will be super good at hacking computers. If you have voting machines that are connected to the internet and you have advanced AI that can potentially affect those machines, that's very dangerous. I'm normally someone who favours technology and I'm saying there should be no machines for voting. There you go. I'll just read it because I'm not going to, otherwise I'm just saying I'm reading the same thing and then he's saying it after me. Indy said the most chilling part of the last 6 years is knowing that 40% of this country cannot recognise evil when they see it. And that's in Australia. Indy is Australian. The most chilling part of the last 6 years is knowing 40% of the country can't recognise evil when they see it. They can't. They are blind. Oh, that's what the Bible means. In the end, people will not see. They'll be blinded. Blinded by, I don't know, BS. Rowan Dean said King Charles III has betrayed his most sacred duty to his subjects and supporters in Australia with his disgraceful climate change, renewables, Indigenous stewardship comments. He has irrevocably politicised and possibly fatally damaged our constitutional monarchy. Okay, let's go. Let's become a republic with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and everything else. The Magna Carta, all of it. Ryan Fournier said, breaking, the Supreme Court just rejected Michael Cohen's efforts to sue President Trump. Excellent. Can you hear me smiling? Laura Loomis said a woman ran across the field at the Steelers game tonight with a sign that says, Trump, secure border. Kamala, open border. Conservatives are winning the culture war. This is hilarious. Well done, love. Oh, my God, I'm cheering you on. I've never cheered on anyone who's run across a stadium in the middle of a game. But this woman, well done. Lucky they didn't tackle her. That would have hurt. She's pretty built there. Madison said McDonald's should create a new burger in honour of President Trump. What should they call it? Okay. Do you think they should name it the Big Don? You know, like the Big Mac, but the Big Don. Okay. That's just my weird sense of humour. Concerned citizens said that's because the climate scam is a scam. Scientists find no change in global warming rates since the 1970s. There you go. Black Betty said, well, isn't that special? Always right in our faces. My God, I'm just noticing this. Number 1, Dominion, a word that is the opposite of freedom and democracy. 2, changing the way people vote literally changes votes. 3, the actual logo is a red vote going in and coming out a blue vote. Look, red going in, coming out blue. They put it right in our faces. Dominion voting, changing the way people vote. Yeah, I'll say, you're changing it all right. Yeah, everyone should be calling for paper ballots, mate, and same-day counting too. Clandestine said, Lizzo, if Kamala wins, the whole country will be like Detroit. Detroit. No. My goodness. Didn't that used to be the car city? Rock City as well, Detroit. Rock City. But wasn't this where all your cars and that were made, or a lot of your cars were made? In Detroit? Goodness me. All you need now is a bit of grass growing up through the road there, and well, it's coming from the side. Then you've got where I live. I mean, your roads are as bad as mine. Ah, look at that. They're not fixing the roads. Yeah, we got grass growing up in where they've patchworked our road. Looks like a patchwork quilt with grass. GP said wait until King Charles asks who this piece of is and finds out she's a member of Parliament. Worst part is our taxes pay for her entitled lifestyle. This see you in the NT has to go. Enough is enough. Now that's 2 people who have called her a see you in the NT. Okay, that's that Lydia Thorpe again. She's the one that threw herself. I'll see if I can find the clip of her throwing herself on the ground during a woman's march because she was protesting. Okay, this is it here. It was when Kelly J. Keane was here. Okay, she was doing the women's march thing. And watch Lydia Thorpe.
Kingdom is the polar opposite. They know what biological sex is, and they celebrate women like myself.
Should be ashamed that they even let people like this in this country. Now, I went to tell her on that thing that they are not welcome here. And I got pulverised by the police by simply telling that person that they are not allowed to be here.
Why they're not allowed to be here? She's talking about women's rights. Are you not a woman? What is wrong with you? So there you go. That's Lydia Thorpe. Okay, so that's who she is, okay? Cat Turd said that Florida is the 3rd most populated state in the USA and they have their votes counted. They will have their votes counted and the results on election night. Any Secretary of State in any state who gets on TV today and says it'll take days to count the votes is a cheater, a traitor, and should be arrested. Because there are. In the swing states, apparently. They're all saying, oh, it's going to take days to count. Tony said, lol, someone flew a banner over Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour in Miami that said Trump 2024. Ready for it, cat lady? MAGA. Absolutely incredible. Well done. Hey, I'm a cat lady for Trump. Hey. But I don't get insulted easy, so it doesn't worry me at all that they're calling Taylor Swift cat lady. George said, something truly beautiful is happening in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania right now. Former Steelers legends Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell are registering hundreds of new Trump voters. The culture is with Trump all the way this time. I reckon it's going to be too big to rig. Mike Williams said, what an absolute disgrace. In any other workplace, this would result in termination. This woman is not fit to hold office. She's not fit to represent the people of Victoria, and it's her doing it again. And I don't know what she's got wrapped around her, but seriously, if that's a cowhide or anything, you know, look, I don't... Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to get into a article about the Aboriginal people, and there was an article that said the white man saved us. And it was, honestly, they had nothing before we got here. DC Drain, well, I didn't come here as a coloniser, but what happened was when the English sent their prisoners over here, those convicts were the ones that started building Australia. The convicts were the ones. DC Drano said Michigan says they won't have vote totals on election night. Pennsylvania says they won't have vote totals on election night. Georgia says they won't have vote totals on election night. And Arizona says they won't have vote totals on election night. How do third world countries hand count ballots in one day, but American swing states need days to count the machines? We all know they're going to use those extra days to try and fiddle with it. Insane corruption. Michael Flynn Jr. said, so how do we stop this before the election? Is it even possible at this point? DC Drano said, first we highlight and expose it, then we fight it in court before ballots are commingled. And here we go again. Yeah, you got to make it too big to rig. You got to make it so that even if they do cheat, it won't matter. Stevens said to build the transmission grid for wind and solar, it will cost us $1.5 trillion. $1.5 trillion is equal to no Aussie paying income tax for 6 years, or building 1.8 million houses for our kids. Listen, this is the guy who is making our electricity bills skyrocket. He is useless, absolutely useless.
And they're coming up with bright ideas on the other side of the election. Point one, no credibility. Point two, nuclear is the most expensive form of energy. We have a cost of living crisis, energy prices going through the roof, and what's their big bright idea? They say, let's have the most expensive form of energy we can possibly think of. Let's come up with the most expensive form of energy and let's put that in the system because
that's what you've done, mate. I think you're projecting a bit here.
It's going to make power prices cheaper. They want that debate? They really want to argue that?
Yep.
Bring it on.
He won't argue anyone. That's the point. He will not argue anyone. He says bring it on, but he doesn't mean it. Elon Musk said, I'd like to congratulate CNN on their new name. CNN should change their name to DNN, Disinformation News Network, Doge Designer says. Oh, said Elon Musk said it. DNN, the Disinformation News Network. Shadow of Ezra said Dominion voting machines has issued a threat tweet warning Americans to stay silent about their alleged election practices. The company claims they're monitoring individuals and are ready to take legal action against those who speak out. Will you stay silent? No, I'd still say something. You could lock me up and I'd still say something. Dominion Voting Anyway posted this. Dominion is closely monitoring claims around the November 2024 election and strongly encourages use of verified, credible sources of info. We remain fully prepared to defend our company and our customers against lies and those who spread them. Okay, well, here I am. Hello. I wouldn't trust you as far as I could throw one of your machines, and I probably couldn't even pick it up, mate. Marjorie Taylor Greene press release parody said breaking Donald Trump stuns America with a record-breaking crowd in North Carolina. Kamala Harris is reportedly very worried about losing North Carolina to Trump. Let's go, full throttle. Okay, and apparently there's a rally right now while I'm doing this. Concerned citizens said, hey, Kamala Harris, I hear you love a Venn diagram. Here's a simple one even you can understand. Here's the Epstein list, the Diddy list, and all the celebrities coming out to support Kamala Harris. It's a good Venn diagram, that one. It shows it exactly. Elon Musk has said 100%. Sean Maguire said Democrats are complaining about Elon's efforts in the 2024 election. But they were silent when Zuckerberg did the same thing in 2020. Zuck donated over $400 million, with a large amount of that going to get out the vote, precisely targeted at Democrats. Rules for me, but not rules for thee, but not for me. Yeah, I think you got that round the wrong way. Anyway, it might make sense if I stop and read it for a minute, but hey, I'm busy trying to get through the news. Dave on Eggs, Dave on Eggs said pervert Bert. While the world is still reeling from Epstein, Diddy and Pedo Wood, let's remember the entire mainstream establishment celebrated and lauded these rock spiders for our entire lives here in Australia. We have a problem in this country, no different to the one in the US, and it's time more Australians started speaking up about it. What sort of degenerates would laugh at this kind of sick comedy? Oh, that's right, parasites from the mainstream media and entertainment industry. Wait till you hear this, especially if you're Australian. This is going to be, it opened my eyes a little bit. Okay.
The young talent, Graham Kennedy was always the sort of man who nurtured young talent. He enjoyed giving young people a chance on television. He was a great mentor. He mentored a lot of young people. You knew that if you went to his dressing room and it was locked,
He's talking about Graham Kennedy.
he'd be inside doing some mentoring. Don Lane was a mentor too. He did a hell of a lot of mentoring.
Does anyone remember Don Lane? Yeah, he was one too.
They were wonderful years, and years that I wouldn't swap with anyone.
Bert Newton was kicked out of the television industry for alleged doing things. Boo Samurai said, start at the top with the filth project, protecting these scum, and then work your way down till they fear the light of day. Yep. Disgusting. So that's Bert Newton, and he was talking about two other famous TV people here in Australia. So there you go. Heavy Snowball Choo Choo, said Lydia Thorpe, pin-up girl for borderline personality disorder. Look, here in Australia, the Aboriginals did not dress like this. This is American Indians. You did not dress like... What are you doing, love? She's really taken that First Nations thing and going all the way with it. Next she'll be saying she's American Indian. Rocket Man said people say due to the gun control legislation in 1996, the mass shootings stopped in Australia. No, the mass shootings stopped because our government intelligence agencies stopped orchestrating them as they already had completed their mission, gun control. I'm not the only one who thinks this way, which is very good to know. In fact, I'm going to retweet that. Elon Musk said fate loves irony but hates hypocrisy. David Sachs said Democrats, if Trump wins, he'll have us all arrested. Also Democrats, prosecute Elon and jail Trump. Exactly. Declaration of Memes posted this. Meg Ann said, I'm so embarrassed to be part of a generation that laughs when a baby is ripped limb from limb in the womb, yet cries when someone calls them the wrong pronoun. Look, let me just say it one more time. It's traumatic. You are fighting for trauma. What in the hell are women doing? And I have to question your sanity if you fight for abortion, because you're fighting for trauma and for women to go through traumatic experiences. You will live with it for the rest of your life. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said, how about instead of companies displaying pink ribbon this month, they just remove carcinogens from their products? Great idea. I don't buy the pink ribbon. The whole industry is a rort. Mark Rowley says she's here for a cause, not the country. Wake up, Australia. Yeah, look at her pointing at the Palestinian and Aboriginal flags. Kick this idiot out. Benny Johnson said, wow, someone just yelled Jesus is King at J.D. Vance rally. His response, that's right, Jesus is King. 48 hours ago, Camilla had a young boy dragged out of her rally for yelling the same thing, telling him he was at the wrong rally. Really? Oh, my God. I'm going to try and find that one. Joey Manarino said Joe Biden won New Mexico in 2020 by double digits. New polling out shows that Trump is only down 3 points to Kamala, and that's in a D+9 poll. If you are in New Mexico and you're one of those Republicans who say Trump can't win, so I'm not going to vote, go and vote, because this year he very much can win. This is not like other years. They have it all. Believe me, go and vote. Craig Kelly said, look at the crowds. It's close to being too big to rig. Therefore, they may not even try for risk of getting caught. Trump in a landslide, it didn't stop them last time, and I believe they have been caught. Donald Trump said, make America great again. Look at this. Go, you guys. That was just for him going to McDonald's and serving at McDonald's. Kevin Dalton said to the 4.7 million fast food workers in the US, this is what the Democrat Party thinks of you. The Palmer report said the real proof of Donald Trump's dementia is that he let his handlers do this to him today without pushing back about what a humiliating idea it was. They didn't say, oh. So everyone who works at McDonald's should be humiliated, should they? I don't think so. Who was that? The Palmer report. Okay, must be a lefty-leaning report. Miss Madeline said, what a rort. In 2019, Daniel Andrews declares that Victoria's mental health system is catastrophic and vows to initiate a royal commission. The following year, Professor Pat McGorry, Origin, is picked to lead the Royal Commission into the state's mental health system. After the RC is completed, several recommendations are made, one of which is the introduction of a new tax to cover the cost of repairing Victoria's mental health system. Let me tell you right now, throwing money at things never works. The new tax gets implemented and businesses across the state now have to pay a new mental health levy. Hundreds of millions of dollars goes to Origin in funding, and Dan Andrews then becomes the chairperson of the organisation following his resignation from Victorian government. Do you see how it works now? We'll introduce a new tax to pay for it, and then I'll come and work for you. Okay. We need more commissions. No, I don't know. If royal commissions don't really work, they just seem to throw more money at the problem. Sean Farish said, Libs, I'm laughing at all of you who are melting down over Trump working at McDonald's today. You are so obsessed with hating everything he does. It's both hilarious and pathetic at the same time. Hating Trump, no matter what he does, is your life's purpose. Without Trump to hate, you'd have absolutely nothing to do. Like it or not, your life revolves around Donald Trump. I'm laughing at you. We all are. Keep this up. It's great entertainment. Oh, dear. Elon Musk said, take the red pill. I agree. Don't take the black pill or you'll end up like, you might end up like, I don't know. God knows. It's not good. When you've got no hope, it's nihilism. It's nihilism. The opinionated black woman auntie said, well, Lydia's going worldwide. This time tomorrow she'll overtake Reagan, and another proud moment for Australia. Katie Hopkins said, breaking news, batshit bonkers Britain. It's Monday. People like Lydia Thorpe, King Charles and Wes Streeting. Let's have a listen.
Breaking news here in batshit bonkers Britain, where over in Parliament buildings in Australia, some absolute lunatic woman called Lydia Thorpe, who's cosplaying as an Aboriginal despite being half Irish, turned up and shouted, "Not my king!" at King Charles. I should think he's very glad about that, love, given that you look like you smell of piss. You turned up wearing the family's dead dog that got hit by a car 20 years ago, and you got thrown out of a strip club a couple of years ago for assaulting staff. Isn't that right, Lydia, you mad old trout? In other news, Wes Streeting says he's going to do this, that and the other for the NHS. At this point, Wes, you're just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. What we'd quite like to do, love, is be able to get a dentist appointment for our kids and go and see a doctor when we need one, instead of being told to piss off by a fat receptionist called Brenda, who used to work in HR. And finally, the AA want to make life even more difficult for young drivers by not allowing them to drive their friends within 6 months of passing their test. At this point, young people have to pay £3,000 to try and insure a car. They're being dissuaded from ever learning to drive, and now you want to piss on their chips when they're trying to just have some fun. For Christ's sake, leave our young people alone. That's it. Batshit bonkers Britain.
Well done.
Breaking news here.
And I'm not sure if is it Lydia Thorpe whose husband was a bikie? I'm not sure. Hang on one sec. Okay, couldn't find it. Could be another one. Could be a different politician whose husband was a bikie. Okay, Craig Kelly said King Charles is the ultimate demonstration of the superiority of a constitutional monarchy as a form of government. For here we have a complete buffoon as the king, a deluded climate alarmist that advocates for net zero policies that result in massive wealth transfers to the communist Chinese. And yet, despite all of this, a constitutional monarchy is still superior to any model of a republic that those that want to change can dream up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree necessarily. Well, at the moment it is. It's the only thing we've got. But I would like to become a republic with the American Constitution, Bill of Rights, and, of course, none of our politicians as leaders. Let's try that again. The opinionated black woman auntie said, look, I'm not a fan of King Charles, but I prefer the monarchy to the likes of President Malcolm Turnbull, or, God help us, President Simon Holmes, a doucheface. But what Lydia done today was nagaraga. It was so shameful, screaming out, give us our babies back. Who's us? Whose babies? No one has been taking babies off Aboriginal women and shipping them to England. Just what freaking decade does she think we're living in? When she took a job as senator, she swore allegiance to the crown. What she has done today disqualifies her from holding that position. There you go. Boca Vista said Trump country. Trump has more people lining the streets to watch him work at McDonald's in deep blue Philadelphia than Kamala had at her last 3 rallies combined. Look at that. It is. Everyone just lining up to watch Donald Trump go past. Okay, 5DME81 said women are going to turn the state red. Under Trump, we were energy independent. Under Trump, I didn't have to worry about filling up my gas tank to go to work. Under Trump, I didn't have to worry about paying my bills or getting groceries for my kids. Vote Trump to restore the economy. Vote Trump for America first. Well done, ladies. Okay. Charlie Bear's mama said Kamala's former staff say, go Trump, don't let the soul-destroying bully step foot in the White House, make it too big to rig. Daily Mail said Kamala Harris, the soul-destroying bully. Former staff exposed shock details of degrading tirades, decades-long toxic behaviour that left people in tears, and saw them quit at unprecedented levels. Okay, AJ Huber said Diddy List will be coming out after President Trump takes back the White House. This is why Usher is out there working overtime so hard to prevent Trump's victory. Remember Trump, we caught them all. Nothing can stop what's coming. Go Trump. Yeah, Usher, it doesn't matter what you say. Has no influence of me at all. Bostonians against Mayor Wu said 6-year-old from Massachusetts asked Trump a question. Trump answers honestly and the left is melting down. Trump is the funniest man on the planet. Let's go. Trump.
We got a fun one.
But we'll fix it.
We got a 6-year-old from Massachusetts, and he wants to know about your favorite animal. Let's watch.
Mr. President, my name is Briar. I'm 6 years old. I live on a farm in Massachusetts. What's your favorite farm animal?
Favorite farm animal?
What's the animal?
Well, this guy grew up in the city.
I'll tell you what I love. I love cows. But if we go with Kamala, you won't have any cows anymore because you're not allowed. I don't want to ruin this kid's day. But I love cows. I think they're so cute and so beautiful and so protective. But according to Kamala, who's a radical left lunatic, you will not have any cows anymore. So we have to vote her out. If you like cows, you have to vote.
I know.
We got a fun one.
But we'll fix it.
We got a 6.
I love cows. I want to have cows. Okay, AJ Huber said Whitehead is in control. Latrobe, Pennsylvania. He's always telling you very clearly, go Trump, nothing can stop what's coming. If you can see this, he's about to put a white hat on. Okay, watch this. They gave him a hard hat. Happens to be white. Way to go, guys. There you go. Another one. Let me make it big so you can see. Comms, mate, comms. Boca Vista said, I'm loving it. Kamala's the first ever Indian Dem nominee. Yet this Indian family at McDonald's says to Trump, you're the type of person we want to be POTUS. Trump MAGA 2024. The people's president, Trump is the GOAT. McDonald's Secret Service, go Trump. And the Secret Service were on the ball this day. Seriously. Let's have a look.
I could do this all day. I wouldn't mind this job. I like this job. I think I might come back and do it again. Thank you. Look at that.
Mr.
Look at that.
Wow.
How are you?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Nice to see you.
You made it possible for ordinary people like us to meet you.
You're not ordinary.
I mean, thank you so much
You
for
are not
everything you're
ordinary.
doing.
I can see.
We pray for you, and you are the type of person we want to be the president.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So nice. Thank you very much. Yeah, I took a bullet. That's right.
Thank you, Mr. President.
When you think about it, I guess that's right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I could do this all day. I wouldn't mind this job.
God love him. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there for today. What's tomorrow? I won't be here tomorrow. I have to go down and help with my mum and dad who are selling their house. So I won't be here tomorrow, but I'll be back on Thursday, which will be your Wednesday. Okay, guys, I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon.